A genius scientist accidentally found himself locked out of his own life and was reborn in the Joseon era, traveling back hundreds of years through space and time. Fortunately, in his new life, he was born as the crown prince of the Joseon dynasty, one of the most famous kingdoms in Korean history. In this new world, he disrupted the established order by using knowledge from the future to reform his country. This is the premise of Black Corporation Joseon. Hello everyone. We're meeting again. How are you all? I hope everyone is doing well. Okay, let's continue with this chapter. The scene begins with the king's arrival at Hyang's place. This sudden visit surprises Hyang. He says, "Father, you're here?" The king replies, "Yes. I was looking at your charts again and found something that made me curious." Hyang responds, "Father, I want to rest. Please give me some time to rest without having to think about those charts." The king laughs and says, "Ha, you little rascal. But this time it's different from your reform plans. During your presentation you mentioned several policies. But I couldn't help but notice, you didn't say anything about the military. Don't tell me you forgot about it?" Hyang smirks slyly and replies, "If I mention the military, it would cause an even bigger uproar. What do you think about the current state of our military, father?" The king strokes his chin thoughtfully. "In my opinion, our military system is still unstable. The country remains in turmoil. We need to invest in wealth and human resources to handle any potential threats to Joseon. What do you think?" "I agree, father," Hyang says. "We need to strengthen our navy." The king looks surprised. "The navy? Why?" Hyang explains, "Joseon lacks a capable naval force to control its waters. During the Tsushima Island expedition a few years ago, more than half of our forces were untrained farmers. On top of that, our ships are too small. Our people had to risk their lives just to cross the waters between Busan and Tsushima Island." The king nods slowly. "You're right. We need to increase ship production and significantly boost our naval forces." "I agree," Hyang responds. The king furrows his brow. "But the budget will be a major challenge." Hyang smiles. "I have a suggestion to solve the budget issue." The king looks at him with curiosity. "What is it?" "We can dig rocks," Hyang answers. The king is taken aback. "Dig rocks? How can that generate funds?" Sometime later, an announcement is spread throughout the kingdom, ordering mining experts to gather at the Ministry of Commerce. The public responds with curiosity and confusion. "What is mining?" asks one villager. "It's digging up rocks, isn't it?" another replies. "Why are we suddenly being asked to dig rocks? Is there gold somewhere?" someone else wonders. Meanwhile, the king addresses his ministers. "The first step we must take is to secure capital. We need gold, silver, and bronze. Any additions?" One of the ministers replies, "That seems sufficient." In the corner of the room, Hyang thinks to himself, "If I want to pursue my hobby, I'll need more than that." Then he speaks up. "Father, we also need iron, sulfur, limestone, and coal." The king looks puzzled. "Coal? What's that?" Hyang explains, "Coal is a rock formed from dead plants buried for thousands of years. It burns more efficiently and faster than wood. If we replace wood with coal, we can prevent reckless deforestation." The king nods. "Really? That's a good idea. But what about limestone? Why do we need that?" "Limestone is essential for construction and iron smelting," Hyang replies. The king looks even more bewildered. "How can limestone be used in construction?" Hyang gives a faint smile. "I'm sorry, father, but that requires more research. However, limestone is a common mineral we can easily find." Deep inside, Hyang thinks, iron, coal, and cement are the keys to the Industrial Revolution. Without them, technological advancement will never be possible. Then, one of the ministers spoke up, "Your Majesty, I apologize. We don't have any sulfur deposits in Joseon. Until now, we've been importing sulfur from Wakoku." Hyang responded, "But we can't be certain that we don't have any, right? Perhaps we just haven't found it yet. Sulfur isn't only found in Wakoku, it's also abundant in the Ming Empire. It doesn't make sense that sulfur is completely absent from our land. Maybe it's just harder to locate." He continued, "Sulfur is crucial, especially for producing gunpowder. Gunpowder is a key material for national defense. If we continue to rely on other countries to obtain it, this could become a major problem in the future. The king immediately became enthusiastic. You're right. You're absolutely right, Crown Prince. Let's go find that sulfur. Another minister added, it would be wise to instruct the miners to be more thorough in their search for sulfur during their excavations. Yang smiled in satisfaction, thinking to himself, as I expected, it's much easier when I mention national defense. Following the meeting, skilled miners from all 8 provinces of Joseon were gathered in the capital, Hanyang. King Sejong then established a new organization called the Resource Agency under the Ministry of Commerce to manage the miners. Out in the field, a minister stood before the assembled miners. Your task is to travel across Joseon and search for the minerals listed here. If you work hard, you will be handsomely rewarded. Give it your best. The miners responded in unison, we'll do our best. Shortly afterward, the king himself arrived at the site. The miners immediately bowed low to the ground and shouted, these lowly beings greet your majesty. The king smiled at the greeting. Don't belittle yourselves. The work you're doing is of the utmost importance. The prosperity and strength of our nation depend on your hard work. So, I hope you'll give it your all. With renewed enthusiasm, they responded, we will do our best, your majesty. The minister then handed out the mineral lists. Study these lists carefully. Make sure you don't miss anything, he instructed. The miners examined the lists with great care. One miner asked, what is coal? His companion replied, I've heard of it before. It's a solid black rock that can burn. The first miner shook his head in disbelief. A rock that can burn? That's strange. He continued reading until his eyes landed on the word sulfur. He asked, do we even have sulfur in Joseon? His companion pointed to a small note at the bottom of the list. Look here. It says, immediately report if you find a shiny black rock resembling obsidian but brittle. It's called graphite. The miners looked at each other in confusion. They had never seen such a stone before. But their determination remained strong as they set off to find the listed minerals. A few days later, Yang inspected the mining results delivered in a cart. He smiled with satisfaction. Excellent. They're doing great. The foundation is set. Suddenly, a eunuch approached and said, Your Highness, the envoy from the Ming Empire has returned. Yang turned his head. Oh, they're back already? Not long after, the envoys arrived, presenting a gift from the Ming Empire. They handed a map to the king. The king stared at the map in surprise. What kind of map is this? Alright, we've reached the end of this chapter. What kind of map has appeared before the king? Could this map lead them on an exciting journey into the future? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.